So Hawks versus the Knicks. The Knicks tied it up at MSG. I thought they were going to go up 2-0. Obviously, the Garden was electric. The Knicks have the best fans in the NBA, no doubt about it. After seeing all the video, after seeing how loud the crowd gets, there is no crowd that is more passionate. There's no fan base that is more passionate than Knicks fans, which is why I think the Knicks will steal one in Atlanta, and they will also win one in MSG, and they'll go up 3-2, and then we'll see what happens after that. But obviously, they have to win those 2 games in Atlanta first, and the Knicks lost by 2 in Game 1. Randle didn't play well. Then in Game 2, the Knicks rallied back from a double-digit deficit in the second half, and they came back versus the Hawks. But Julius Randle still has yet to play like the most improved player, Julius Randle. RJ Barrett has yet to play like the young star I think he is becoming. Derrick Rose has been really leading the way. He has been phenomenal so far for the Knicks. Do you think the Knicks can take one in Atlanta? Are they going to split with Atlanta?
I think they'll split in Atlanta. I mean, my biggest takeaway from Game 2 is that the Knicks can really lock in defensively. I mean, that's no surprise. I mean, they've been probably the first or second best defensive team in the league, led by Tom Thibodeau. So when I was watching Game 2, the thing that stood out to me the most was that first 2 quarters, I think Atlanta scored 28 to 30 points, but then in the third they scored 17, and in the fourth they scored 18. And if the Knicks can hold them to that type of shooting, then yes, they can win a game in Atlanta. I think this series is gonna go to 7. I think the Hawks are gonna win because I think they have a little bit more firepower offensively. But I mean, the series could go either way. But the thing that stood out to me in Game 2 the most was the fact that when the Knicks buckle down on defense and they get somewhat of a scoring contribution from whether it be Derrick Rose or somebody else, then yes, they can win this game. But Julius Randle definitely needs to play better than what he does. You can't have Derrick Rose come in and win you games. Julius Randle, you're the all-star. You're the most improved player. We need to see more out of you. I think this series goes to 7, and I think the Knicks definitely take one in an ATL.
Yeah, I agree with JC. I think there'll definitely be a split. I think this series is going to go back and forth. You know, I think both of these teams are evenly matched. I think this is going to be a great – I think, like you said, the fans in Madison Square Garden, that's what we needed. You know, that's what
I want to go to a Knicks game. That's how they got me feeling.
It was incredible. You know, the little spitting on Trae Young was a little crazy, but it just shows with their passion. But it's a little wild passion now. Yeah. But it's definitely something that the world needed. New York needed. They needed that glim back. Like you said, Brooklyn, I know the Brooklyn Nets are here, but just it's nothing like Madison Square Garden being lit up and having the fans, so it's a great feeling. But yeah, I think Atlanta's going to be loud. I think Atlanta's going to be lit. Like you saw the list for the Knicks, who was there, There was a lot of people there. I think Atlanta's going to have their celebrities there. It's going to be fun to see there. Crazy. It's going to be hard, like we're waiting for that Julius Randle game. We're waiting for that. We're waiting for that RJ Barrett game. And I got to go. We're going to talk about it later, but John Morant, he had his game. Game 2 on the road. Yeah, he on the road in Utah. That's one of the toughest places to play. He had his moments, playing. He had his moments. So it's time. RJ Barrett needs to step up. Trae Young, we've seen Trae Young. He had his moment in the Garden. Game winner, ice Trae. RJ Barrett, it's your time. We've seen Luka. Luka already has been having his moments. RJ, this is your time to show to the franchise why you are going to be one of their pieces down the line. You have to have your moment. I get it. Derrick Rose is a great player, phenomenal player, but Julius Randle and RJ Barrett have to be the key and the 2 best players if they want to win this series. Mm-hmm. Trae Young is there. Julius Randle, you have to match Trae Young. RJ Barrett, you have to step up. I agree with you though. Like defensively, when they were down a bit in that game, but defensively when they buckled down, you saw it. They got in there. When Julius Randle, RJ Barrett started contributing, D Rose went back to his third role. You see the team the Knicks are going to be, so they have to be that if they want to win this series.
That was easily one of the best defensive performances I've seen in a while.
I mean, to me, I think that the Knicks should be up 2-0 in this series. We have gotten contributions from Alec Burks, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin. They have all been huge off the bench. Julius Randle just has to come alive. He has to play how he's been playing. But also, I think that the Knicks defense, even though we have been holding Atlanta in check, and I do think it's easier for an offensive team to become or to hone in on defense than it is for a defensive team to become great offensively. Yeah. I do think that something about Tibbs' philosophy right now on defense is kind of hurting the Knicks. Atlanta's running this Spain pick and roll. It's like a stack pick and roll where they have one guy setting the ball screen, another one setting the down screen, and the Knicks are kind of getting confused on that action on the roll man. So I don't know. That's something that the Knicks have to adjust with. going on to Game 3 in Atlanta. Because if you see Atlanta right now, if you're watching those games, they have a bunch of open 3-point opportunities that they just aren't hitting. Yeah. You see Danilo Gallinari missing a ton of open threes. DeAndre Hunter got it going in Game 2, but in Game 1, he missed a ton of open threes. So they're having a lot of really wide open 3-point opportunities because of that Spain pick and roll. So that's something that you have to look for. And we've been one of the best defensive teams in the NBA this season. So do I think we're going to step it up? I do, but it's going to be hard. And if Atlanta does get going, they are hitting their open shots, then it can get really ugly. But the Knicks have to be disciplined on defense, and we have to just get something from R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle. Thus far, DeAndre Hunter has been playing better than R.J. Barrett, and I think Barrett is the better player. So he has to step up and really do his thing.
What?
Nah, I like DeAndre Hunter.
You looked at me because you thought I was going to say something.
Yeah, I thought you were going to make a face.
Nah. I think I think RJ has more potential. I think right now
we pretty much covered the whole series. I think I think I do think if the Knicks can get a big like a game from Julius Randle where he dominates and they defend like this, then they could win this series. I still have Hawks in 7, but we need that big game from Julius Randle. And if RJ Barrett steps up, that's even better. So
yeah, I got Hawks in 7.
Me too.
I think Hawks are just
too much firepower offensively.
I think they just have too much. Like you said, they've been getting open looks. They're just not falling. The Mohawk Gallo, he's losing me. That's probably why he's missing. That Mohawk is terrible.
Hunter went cold. I think after the third and fourth quarter, he went cold.
This is like his 8th game playing.
I mean, not even though. Danilo Gallinari just doesn't play well in the playoffs. Anywhere he's been.
Gallo.
Pretty much.
In OKC, in OKC last year versus Houston, he wasn't good. On the Clippers versus the Warriors, it wasn't
shots? Because I think right now, I think he's just missing shots.
I just think it's missed shots. When I've seen him in the playoffs, it's really just been missed shots. So. It's not really any. He gets his shots.
Oh, so he's just okay. So yeah, it's like that's what I've been seeing. He's just been missing shots. It really you guys gotta come alive. I know I get it. Alec Burke, he's been on one. D Rose, he's been on one. But you need Randle. Most improved player there. He had all.
Barrett.
He's gonna make it all. I think you need Barrett, but I don't.
Barrett's that second option.
But I think Burks and Rose are compensating for that. I think Burks is doing what RJ Barrett should be doing, so it's kind of compensating. But I think Randle, you're gonna probably make an All NBA team this year. Yeah. You gotta be that guy. You can't come into this series. The series you probably wanted, and this team you've been dominating all regular season, and then you drop an egg. You got to come in there. You got to be dominant. You got to be physical. The series isn't over, and you still have a ways to go to definitely flip the switch. It's been 2 games, but for a guy looking for a max contract, and looking to be the face of the Knicks franchise, you got to be tough. I know it's hard to play in the Garden. I know that's a tough place to play, but that's got to be your Garden. You're the best player. We've seen Melo walk into the Garden, hit game winners, have playoff performances. I'm not saying it's Melo, but you got to step up to that plate and be that guy if you want to be the face of the Knicks.
I mean, for me, I don't think it's really too much about that because I do think they need to step up. But the Knicks all year have been a team that everybody's going to chip on. Everybody's going to chip in. Everybody's going to do their job. Everybody's going to play their role. Some nights, some guys are going to step up more than others. Like in Game 2, we didn't see R.J. Barrett in the fourth quarter. That's not out of the norm for the Knicks because usually R.J. Barrett, he doesn't play some fourth quarter sometimes if Alec Burks gets it going. So I don't think it's that big of a deal that Barrett isn't going. Julius Randle has been that constant the entire season, so we'll see if he gets it going. But at the end of the day, I don't really think it's that important for them to really play well. I just think as long as we play defense, they're efficient, and other guys can step up, and Alec Burks can continue to play well along with Rose and quickly, we will be fine.